Yo, yo, yo. It's been a while. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, yeah, it's working. All right. I had to make sure I was recording. Yeah, I just, over the weekend, Thursday, Friday, I just got a few things on my mind. So I just want to lay it all out when it comes to AMC, what I'm thinking. Um, I mean, I'll briefly talk about why I haven't been talking about the videos, maybe, or making videos or whatever lately, as we kind of progress into the larger cycle theory stuff. But for now, I just want to look at AMC from a pure Wyckoff perspective. And then we'll get into my perspective on the cycle and how it's a more holistic view rather than just focusing on AMC or meme stocks, and rather seeing it from a total cycle liquidity perspective, and what the composite man may or may not be trying to do behind the scenes. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any of my updates. We do technical analysis here. We don't really focus on fundamentals too much. I also have a Discord down in the description below and my Twitter, so you can keep up with me there. I'm going to try and not say as much as possible. So without any further ado, if you look at the chart, I already did it. This chart starts in 2013. And since then, it's been, AMC has pretty much been in distribution. And we've seen distribution down in 2017 and 2019, all the way down to the accumulation that ended up occurring in 2020 from the COVID crash all the way to January of 2021, where we began a new uptrend. Let me remove this line. These purple zones that you see here are just support and resistance zones that have been developed over time. You can look at these as institutional liquidity zones, so where institutions have been tending to sell as well as tending to buy, and just general trading ranges that are kind of significant in the price history of the stock. If you're not familiar with this idea, normally a support that breaks to the downside then becomes resistance and vice versa. So now that we're above this all-time resistance line, if we've sat above it for a few months, it could be treated as a new support zone for the stock's price. And that's kind of like a psychological level. It speaks to the fair value of the stock in regards to the market, right? Whether that's institutional valuation or retail valuation. And that's normally supported by retail buying from institutions at higher levels and refusing to sell at lower levels. That's what kind of develops those regions. Also, you can see that we have some long-term resistance trends. A long-term resistance trend that we've developed here since the beginning of the year. And you can almost act like it started with this support trend that was in July of 2020 before it was ultimately broken, but now it's acted as resistance. And then we have a couple of support trends, and I just wanted to talk about these briefly. Originally, and this is the logarithmic chart too. So, by the way, I use TradingView. And if you are having trouble matching up your chart with mine, make sure you're on log if you want to make it look like mine. It just does the price scaling in terms of percentage rather than the actual dollar amount change. So if the price changes by $1, it doesn't reflect here. It reflects based on the percentage gain or loss on whatever time frame you're on. This is how institutions view their charts. They look at them more from a percentage gain standpoint because they don't really care about the dollar amount of the stock. They just care about how much gain they can look to get. So that's how they chart. And I just think it's better to chart like institutions rather than just like not, I guess. Sorry, I just ate, so I'm kind of full. Anyway, since 2021 began, obviously the meme stock kind of trend started, and AMC had its first run up in January of 2021. Afterwards, the buy button was taken away, and then we started an accumulation. This is what I believe occurred here, and I actually have a pre-charted accumulation that I can show you. Oh no. Well, I can just do it right quick. All right, so I don't know what happened to my saved accumulation here. That's unfortunate. All right, so we're going to do like teal for our support and resistance on this one. So let's see. We have, I believe, our sell climax here. In automatic reaction. A sell test. Well, actually, you know, I don't really want to use this one because this was the buy button thing. I really want to look at this section of the chart because this section of the chart is what most people have been using for the cycle theory. So let's focus in here. And so we have the sell climax. Oh, I'm pulling up new tickers. Don't want to do that yet. Sell climax. Automatic reaction. If you're not familiar with this, this is Wyckoff theory. It's basically a theory on how institutions buy and sell assets and the method of accumulation and distribution, as I referred to earlier in the video. So make sure you look into that. I'll type it up here so you know how to spell it. So make sure you look into this if you're interested to learn about that. Institutions will create these horizontal liquidity zones, as I spoke about earlier. Let's take a look here. They're usually created by the sell climax and the sell test on the accumulation side. And we're not going to talk about distribution too much in this video, I don't think, because I don't think it's very relevant to the stock per se. So that would be your support and resistance for the shorter term accumulation that occurred. Then we have a spring / test. Ooh. Spring / test. All right. Then we have a sign of strength where we break above the trading range for the first time, right? We stuck in this trading range for, what do we have here? About 2 months worth of trading that occurred between March and May of 2021. So we broke that trading range. We came back and retested it. This is your backup / last point of support phase. And actually, if we move this up here, it becomes a little bit more accurate. You can see we come back and test that liquidity zone. And then ultimately, also it's important to note the volume. While you're in this downtrend, volume remained relatively low. And then whenever they did have price spikes, it's not necessary for it to be this way, but whenever they did have price spikes, they tended to be green when we were in this accumulation period. And I'm just running this down so that we can bring it back to where we are and tie it into Wyckoff theory as well as cycle theory, because I think it's important to kind of combine the two. And then eventually we had our markup phase. So this would be your markup. And we ran up in June to $72. All right, so now where do we stand? Well, I think that the possibilities are one of two things, in my opinion. And when I'm saying this, I'm referring to it in a long-term perspective. Okay, so I'm not talking about it on a like today, whatever basis. What I'm saying is, I think that what we're in right now is called re-accumulation. That's my opinion. And I can bring up a re-accumulation schematic because a re-accumulation schematic is a little less popular. People don't talk about it as much as the regular accumulation schematics. This is what that schematic looks like. Sorry if that's a little bright on your screen. I'm going to adjust this over so that you can see the schematic while I chart. All right. And so the way that I view this reaccumulation as of now is that it was established by this upper resistance, right? So we have this upper resistance zone. We can call it here. You had a buying climax, as you see here, stopping the advance. This would be your primary supply zone, PSY. We have an automatic reaction. And this automatic reaction, it can happen. It could be here, or it could also be here. We can put it here, and then it also, the bottom zone would be determined. Maybe we'll do a different color, actually, because I said that I was going to do that, but I didn't do it, did I? I tricked you, didn't I? Yeah, and yeah, if you look at it from this perspective, it's actually kind of interesting because what you have now is we've existed in this trading range, right? And if you look at the conventional labeling of Wyckoff re-accumulation, what it would appear is occurring now is that we have our creek section of the chart. What does that mean? Well, the creek is just like an intermediate resistance that's built into the reaccumulation schematic, and it's similar to it, like you would find it in the accumulation schematic as well, which is you would have a creek, and then that sign of strength, and then the backup would come back and retest the creek. So it's jump the creek. It's more of a phraseology rather than it's not really like a staple where you like have to draw the creek or whatever, but it's there was a professor in the 60s that was using the creek as an example. Anyway, so what we have here is now we're in this zone, as you can see here. So think of this as 6, your creek, right? And then we're meeting support here for 7. Five support. And then this would be like your 9 or 8, because we do have this this support trend line, right? That we have from back here in January. It's kind of roughly drawn, but there you go. So you get the idea. It's more of a zone. Don't think of it too like, don't be like, oh, it's not touching or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, and even if you want to draw it like this, now it became like a bear trap, and now you got sent back up. Okay, so what we have here now is the price of the stock is being squished into this zone. This is a very key zone now because we have this key support zone we just broke out of, right? Today we got out of this support zone after getting knocked down here. And we tested the creek. We got beat down by it. And now we stand in a place where it's early in the week, right? So we don't have to worry about max pain or anything like that going on. So from a bullish perspective, what you want to be seeing occurring based on this schematic is you're going to want to see a pretty aggressive move up. And this is where I want to step in and talk about my issue with the way that I'm seeing most of cycle theory being read out right now when it comes to AMC. Most people are saying that right now, this down here is 7, right? Hold on, let me make sure. I don't wanna. Yeah, so this right here is 7, and now this was 8. The backup LPS phase, right, is the equivalent of where we are now. And I disagree with this. And the reason that I disagree with this is because we haven't broken that creek. We also haven't, you see what happened up here is we came up and we tested this higher level. Back here in September, AMC peaked at $52.50. Back here in March of 2021, it peaked at around $14 or $15. In May of 2021, for that sign of strength, we came up and tested that region. I don't think that we are truly in this phase until we see us come up and test this resistance zone again. And then we're going to have to kind of trade around in this range. And I mean, we can break up way above it, come back down, test that 52, and just kind of trade there for a little while. That's fine. But I just don't see it as we're there. I don't see it as like we're gonna pop off tomorrow until that happens. And until that happens, I'm not convicted that the next move is just going to be this very big explosive move up. That's why I've been kind of reserved and I haven't been making videos. And well, that's one reason. And there's other reasons, and we'll talk about those. But this is what I want to see. I want to see this big conviction move up. This is not satisfying that. Like these moves down here, right? This move, They are not doing that right now, okay? And even if, I mean, even if you wanted to say, like, really what we're doing is we're testing this zone. This zone from way back here. This is, let's see. We're testing this, right? We're testing this region. This is not the resistance zone that we need to be worried about testing right now. That, I mean, if you want to look at it on a shorter time frame and you say, okay, well, this is an accumulation on the short term, yeah, that's fine. And I've always looked at it that way, right? I've been looking at it that way. That's an alternative way to look at the chart, is that this is an accumulation schematic. Let me show you the accumulation schematic just so you know what I'm talking about, because I've mentioned it a few times now. And really you could say it's like this one, right? So you have your sell climax, automatic reaction, sell test in phase B probably, and it doesn't have to be exactly like the schematic, it's just the behaviors. LPS in phase C, LPS, right? This is, I do see this as a last point of support, right? Like, this is a key zone that we held here. And you can normally see, like, it's referred to as last point of support because it's like it'll be like a key traded level. See how it was resistance here, it was support here, support here, support here temporarily before resistance, resistance, support, right? So it's a key trading level, this 38.50-ish dollar level, but it's not the top of our trading range. It's not the top of our trading range at all, right? And just recently, right? So I literally today I got a comment. I was working on a bullish thesis for AMC, and I got a comment from a guy on YouTube, and he's like, "Oh, this didn't play out because it was like a, you know, kind of a balanced video." And I go, we're not there yet. And then he commented today. It was a video from last week. He commented today, "Well, this didn't age well. Look at that, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just sitting here like, dude, like, we didn't do anything yet. You know, we broke this, right? This resistance region, but institutions are holding these resistance regions. They're not like gonna sit here and let you just pass through, right? So what we need to do is we need to make advances. I'm fully convinced that bullish institutions are in control of this play at this point, okay? Like, at this stage in the game, right? I don't think that retail has the ability to push the price up for whatever reason that may be. I'm not really concerned about that at this stage. I'm more concerned about what is the next move, right? And until we see that big move up where we break above, right? So here, I'll visualize the creek for you again. So we break above this sort of region, and we do it with conviction, right? We get up into this resistance area. That was key resistance here, right? Was key resistance here. And I know these arrows, they should be flipped over, whatever. I'm just being lazy, okay? Then we're not prepared for a move up, okay? So I know that a lot of the cycle theory guys are sitting here, you know, like they're responding to me, "Oh, we've already done this, and it's May 25th, whatever." I know that we love the cycle theory with AMC, but we have to be grounded in reality and understand that these institutions are still trading. Whether it's a cycle and they're just running an algorithm or not, they're gonna do it in a way that respects these technical levels. Okay, so I just want to make that really clear. All right. Hopefully we're all on the same page now. And I want to talk about the more holistic view from a cycle perspective, the other things that have me concerned and the things that I'm looking out for with AMC, okay? I've been paying attention to Doge. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I've been paying attention to Doge. And I think that paying attention to Doge is important for paying attention to AMC right now. And the reason that I think that is because this is Doge's chart from January to April of this year, pretty much. And this is its chart from May to November of this year. And we're going to get into the numbers and what they mean and everything like that. And I've been being a little bit more particular because I think we're coming to a very key moment for Doge right now. But as you can see here, you have mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're gonna zoom in and take a look. Okay. You know, if you want to, I'm gonna take this 20 away. Just skip the 20, okay? Because it's like on the 15-minute chart. I'd have to show you, but take my word for it. Trust me, bro. Okay. This thing is literally repeating the same exact cycle, okay, that it did in that previous region of the chart. And so what that means to me, there's a bunch of narrative going on around Elon right now. He's highly liquid because he just sold a bunch of Tesla stock. Bitcoin, and we'll talk about Bitcoin briefly. We're coming to a key moment with Bitcoin as well. There, and a lot of altcoins right now look like they're in reaccumulation or accumulation to me. They all look like they're like really preparing to gear up and run. None of this is financial advice. Go do your own research, figure that out for yourself. What I'm saying is I believe that Doge is, and I've talked about this before, but they're slowing it down. So it's about 3 times slower. You can see I'm on a 9-hour chart. And then over here, I'm on a 3-hour chart. Let me zoom in here so you can look at the most recent move, the comparative move. So, and this is just how I'm tracking it. It doesn't have to be exact. Like, trust me, bro. But anyway, Doge is nearing another move up. I'm very convicted in this. Thank you to Rico's Trade, at Rico's Trade, for putting me on this play originally. Go follow him on Twitter. Make sure you do that. So go check him out. But anyway, I'm very convicted in this. Like, I'm very confident in this. And obviously it's not financial advice. So you need to go take a look at the chart, make your own decision based on what you believe. But because of this, I'm looking at it like, okay, Doge broke out of this on April 10th, April 11th, right? And eventually peaked. Well, it had its ultimate peak all the way on May 7th, right? And then it dumped on May 19th, along with all other crypto, when Bitcoin dumped on May 19th. Okay? And then AMC ran on June 2nd. Also, before AMC's run in January of 2021, on January 21st, Bitcoin bottomed out here, as you can see here. And then AMC and GME were they had their peaks respectively on the 27th of January. Now, am I saying that there is 100% a correlation between these assets? No, I can't say that for sure. I don't know why exactly there is some sort of correlation between Bitcoin, altcoins, cryptocurrency dumping, and these assets pumping. Maybe it's a coincidence. But I am personally looking at it the same way that Wyckoff would say to look at it, which is there's a composite man, okay? And the composite man carefully plans, executes, and concludes his campaigns. He attracts the public to buy a stock, which he's already accumulated, and then he distributes them. And basically what I'm saying is I'm pretending like there's an operator on the other side of this thing, on everything right now. And he is setting up to get liquidity out of retail. And I'm trying to understand what his moves are before they happen, okay? And so if the cycle is repeating, right, from AMC, from all these assets, if it's repeating in the same way, then that means that Doge being very close to running would mean that AMC has to be pushed back. Because remember, we said that Doge ran for, I mean, and this is going to be a longer run, in my opinion. I think that, what did it run for last time? It ran for 30 days. 30 days from this breakout, pretty much. 30 days, 28 days, till its ultimate peak. There's a possibility this whole thing is playing out 3 times slower. There's a possibility that Doge plays out. This whole breakout plays out What if it plays out 3 times slower? Right? I'm not saying this is guaranteed. I'm not saying any of this is guaranteed. The thing could tank tomorrow, okay? But what if that is what happens? Well, and then AMC follows suit. Well, then that would mean that AMC would be sometime after that. This would be January of 2022, okay? Now, am I saying that I think that AMC is going to wait to run until then? Not necessarily. And the reason that I say that is because up until this point, AMC has generally been moving. If you measure from here, so let's pretend like I'm still in on the cycle 100%. I would say that we're probably somewhere around here, which took 55 days. Versus here, which took 135 days. So let me get a calculator. I don't know how much slower that is. It's not 3 times. Well, let's see. Let's do, I guess I would do 135-ish or whatever. It doesn't have to be exact. Oh, 135 divided by 55. So 2.45 times slower. Okay, so it is almost 3 times slower. From that perspective, I'll say if these things are aligning and they're gonna happen in the same order that they happened last time, or the same timing each, then if AMC is where everybody thinks it is, kind of in this region, then that means that I think that it'll be running at the same time as Doge. And what could be happening in maybe all crypto, right? I've just been focusing on Doge. I know that alts tend to run with alts, and Bitcoin is kind of its own thing, right? Bitcoin's kind of been running its butt off the past like 4 or 5 months. Alts have been like okay in that time, but when Bitcoin's really running by itself. Yeah, I mean, that's just the general way that I'm looking at it. I haven't sat down and nailed down all the dates and timed up everything in preparation for this video or whatever. And me and Rico and Esther Nayfill and Colin Gladman and have been digging through and trying to figure out some of these cycles. We're in Mana right now, paying attention to that. I think Mana is a good opportunity right now, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, but make sure you go look at that chart. But this is overall what we've been looking at, and it's almost like we're sitting here like, man, what's gonna happen first? How's it gonna happen? I could envision a situation where Composite Man wants to create a situation where retail is constantly chasing, right? Retail is where Composite Man makes his money. Right? He pumps things, makes people chase. He dumps things, makes people sell. That's his goal. And so I could see a situation where it's like every day there's one of these meme plays, these real popular retail plays popping off left and right. And that would have to be the situation for AMC to be where everybody thinks AMC is, in my opinion. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the breakdown. That's where I've been at from a headspace perspective. It's been pretty difficult for me because I want to make videos for you guys and make you guys feel convicted and confident in what you're looking at. But, I was feeling kind of indecisive because of Doge and because of all these things. And so at the end of the day, it really comes down to you and you being able to make the right choices for yourself and understanding your position and what the possibilities are. And that's why at the end of the day, I decided to come and make the video, say whatever I thought, no matter what, and just give you guys my full honest take, exactly what's going through my head, exactly what I'm thinking. So hopefully you appreciate that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button, drop a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, what you think about all of this. I know it's a lot. It's a big video, so hopefully if you stayed until the end, you enjoyed it. A lot of stuff moving around in this video, but I just wanted to give you the whole view of everything that's going on. I sure do hope that AMC just broke its creek. It came back and retested it and is now going to make its big move up into this resistance zone, but I disagree. I disagree that we are In this phase, I disagree that we are here until we're here. Okay, that's my personal opinion. That's how I feel about it. So, yeah. Again, if you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like, comment your thoughts down below. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord. It's completely free to join down below. Bunch of cycle guys in there, a bunch of TA guys in there, sharing their charts, communicating, teaching each other stuff. It's a great community. We talk about a bunch of cool stuff there. But yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's go to the moon tomorrow. Moon boy. All right, thank you guys. Take it easy.